Australia, a land of endless coastlines, vibrant cities, and rugged outback landscapes. But beyond its natural beauty, this country tells its story in a very unique way, through food. From indigenous bush tucker to modern multicultural flavors, Australia's cuisine is a fusion of history, migration, and creativity. Today, we're exploring the top 10 most popular foods in Australia. At number 10, the classic Lamington. A light sponge cake coated in chocolate and rolled in coconut, sometimes layered with cream or jam. Born in Queensland in the early 1900s, it's now a national treasure. Often enjoyed at school fairs, bakeries, and family gatherings. Sweet, simple, and unmistakably Australian. Number 9, we have meat pies. Golden pastry filled with rich minced meat and gravy, served with tomato sauce on top. For Australians, this isn't just a snack. It's part of sporting culture, found at football matches, bakeries, and corner shops across the country. At number 8, let's talk about Vegemite on toast. This salty, savory spread made from yeast extract has been dividing taste buds for nearly a century. To many Australians, it's comfort food, eaten at breakfast with butter and bread. To outsiders, it's a challenge, but once loved, it's never forgotten. Number 7 takes us to the coast with Barramundi. Its iconic fish, native to Australian waters, is grilled, fried, or baked, often served with lemon or native herbs. Its mild, buttery flavor has made it a favorite in both fine dining restaurants and backyard barbecues. At number 6, the iconic pavlova. A meringue dessert with a crisp shell and soft marshmallow-like center, topped with cream and fresh fruit. Both Australia and New Zealand claim its invention, but wherever it began, pavlova remains a staple at Christmas, birthdays, and celebrations. Number 5 is fish and chips. With Australia's endless beaches, it's no surprise this dish is so popular. Crispy battered fish with golden fries, wrapped in paper and eaten by the shore. It's a seaside tradition that brings nostalgia to both locals and visitors. At number 4, the Anzac biscuit. Sweet, oaty, and sometimes chewy, these biscuits carry history with every bite. First baked during World War I, they were sent by families to soldiers abroad, as they could survive the long journey without spoiling. Today, they are a symbol of remembrance and resilience. Number 3, kangaroo meat. High in protein and low in fat, kangaroo has long been part of indigenous diets and is now embraced more widely. Grilled, roasted, or used in stews, it carries a gamey flavor that connects modern Australians with the continent's deep past. At number 2, barbecues, or as Aussies call them, the barbie. From sausages to prawns, steaks to skewers, the barbecue is more than food. It's a cultural ritual. On weekends, holidays, and community events, the smell of sizzling meat brings people together in backyards and parks across the country. And at number 1, indigenous bush tucker. For over 60,000 years, Aboriginal Australians have lived from the land, using native ingredients like wattle seed, finger lime, macadamia nuts, kangaroo, and emu. Today, these ancient foods are celebrated in modern restaurants, blending tradition with innovation, and reminding Australians of the continent's oldest continuous culture. But the story of Australian food is richer than just these dishes. It is shaped by history, by British colonists who brought pies, puddings, and roasts, by waves of migrants from Italy, Greece, and Asia who introduced pasta, olive oil, souvlaki, noodles, and spices, and by indigenous traditions that reach back tens of thousands of years. The pavlova reflects the sweet rivalry between nations, while the Anzac biscuit is a culinary link to war and remembrance. Kangaroo meat, once dismissed by settlers, is now celebrated as a symbol of sustainability and heritage. And the barbecue, while influenced by European styles of cooking, became something uniquely Australian, casual, outdoors, and social. Today, Australia's cuisine is one of the most diverse in the world, blending ancient indigenous practices with global influences. In every Lamington, in every pie, in every shared barbecue, There is a piece of the nation's identity, a story of adaptation, resilience, and celebration. And maybe that's the secret. Food in Australia is not just about taste. It's about connection to the land, to history, and to one another. To eat here is to experience flavors shaped by the world, but grounded in one of the oldest landscapes on Earth. Australia's food story is unlike any other because it spans two worlds, the ancient and the modern. For tens of thousands of years, Aboriginal communities lived in perfect harmony with the land, creating one of the oldest food traditions on Earth. Bush tucker was more than survival. It was spiritual, deeply tied to the Dreamtime, the sacred stories of creation. Eating native seeds, fruits, and meats wasn't just nourishment, it was a way of honoring ancestors and maintaining balance with nature. When Europeans arrived in 1788, they brought bread, livestock, and cooking methods that transformed the food landscape forever. Wheat replaced native grains, lamb and beef replaced kangaroo and emu, and the taste of Britain became the new norm. Yet indigenous traditions never disappeared. They survived quietly, carried through families, whispered across generations, until the modern revival of bush tucker brought them back to the forefront. The 20th century brought another great wave of change. Migrants from Italy, Greece, Lebanon, Vietnam, and China carried their recipes across oceans, reshaping Australia's kitchens. Suddenly, garlic and olive oil joined lamingtons and roasts. Pasta and pizza stood alongside meat pies, and soy sauce shared the table with Vegemite. What began as a colony's diet grew into a multicultural feast. Today, Australia's cuisine is a mirror of its identity, ancient wisdom woven with global influence. It tells the story of survival in harsh landscapes, of colonization and adaptation, of migration and celebration. To share food in Australia is to share in its history, from the oldest culture on Earth to the modern nation of today. And maybe that's why Australia's food is so unforgettable. It carries not just flavors, but entire timelines, tens of thousands of years of indigenous heritage, centuries of colonial change, and decades of multicultural blending. Each dish is a reminder that Australia is not just one story, but many, all simmering together on the same plate. So, whether it's biting into a simple lamington, savoring kangaroo by the fire, or gathering around a barbecue under the southern stars, every meal in Australia whispers the same truth. This is a land where food is history, memory, and identity, all served in one.